Okay, I'm going to kick off. If anybody else joins us, brilliant. So, hello, I'm Becky. I'm the Customer Marketing Manager here at Papirfly. I'm first going to introduce us, although I have already mentioned them, to Frank Tommy, who's Head of Product Roadmap, and Frederick, who is our Product Lead for Plus. So this is the first in our Papirfly Unleashed webinar series. We plan to run these every other month. There will be 30-minute sessions. We want to keep them really informal. And really, we just want to help you, our customers, learn more about the platform and its possibilities. There's been a lot of changes, a lot of upgrades recently. So we just want to help you know how you can make more use of the platform, make it better, enhance functionality, improve efficiencies for your users, and really just start to provide a bit more transparency on our own product roadmap. So what's coming up over the next few months? So essentially, we're going to start exploring different areas of the product roadmap. So that includes prove. So that's more around how you can demonstrate value and usage of the platform. Plan. So how you can start managing your campaigns through the platform. And then also design systems, which is really a way to help align all of your brand teams, including marketers, designers, engineers, product teams, in one central hub. But this session, as I mentioned, is focusing on some exciting integrations that we've brought into the platform recently, specifically Inriver and Microsoft Office. And then we'll also be touching on the external DAM integration, which we now have available. We'll also hopefully be given a small sneak peek into the product roadmap for Plus and what we can see coming next. But before we zoom into these integrations in particular, I'm going to hand over to Frank Tommy just to give a brief overview of the Papirfly platform and how it looks today.
Hi, everyone. My name is Frank Tommy. As Becky said, I'm Head of Product Marketing. So before we jump into integrations and the star of today's show, Frederick, I'm going to do a short introduction. So let's start with the purpose. What is the power of integrations? So first of all, if you click, Becky, it's we can solve new use cases. So Freddy's going to demonstrate Inriver, a world-leading product information management tool. So without that integration, you can't solve a use case, but with that integration, you actually can solve new use cases. And the next one is you have improved workflows and user experience. I think the Office integration is a good example of that. So the tools you use every day, you can stay within the tool and you have an asset picker to choose the branded assets you need without leaving the platform. So that's a good user experience. And finally, all those together with other integrations, you speed up the process. So it enables you to work much faster and get more done. So work smarter, not harder. I think that's the power of integrations in a nutshell. So I'm going to talk a bit about the types of integrations shortly. But before we do so, I'm going to do a short introduction of the Papirfly platform with some short videos. So it's only going to take a few minutes. So first, we have Point. This is our flagship product, the brand portal, where you can educate everyone on the brand, such as colors, main colors, secondary colors, or the 6 shades of gray. So everyone knows how to use them. It's not only bringing them on the same page, it's also where you head it. So you have global campaigns where you can educate all the employees. And the next one is Place. This is our future-proof digital asset management tool. So this is your single source of truth. It's advanced filtering, and you have tagging, so you can find everything you need. And you can go into each asset, and you can run analysis to know more about that asset. And you can crop them to any size, so it's used for the right fit. And even GDPR settings, you can manage that for that specific asset, like this one. So thirdly, we have Plan. This is where all your teams, or at least the teams you work with, you collaborate on. Sorry, this is Produce, where you create different templates, and you have formats, and you can switch between layouts, and you can switch between colors. And as I showed you in Place, you can add any image. So choose the image, quickly add that into the templating tool. And then, of course, it's not just the visual part. You can predefine copy to ensure you're on brand with your messaging, but have the flexibility to adapt to your need. And then we'll move over to Plan. This is where you collaborate with your team, create projects. You can easily upload pictures before they are approved. And then it's easy for teams and reviewers and approvers to make comments, annotate, and of course, approve the picture before it's available company-wide. So this is just a quick snippet of that product. And then we move over to Prove. This is our brand new analytics tool that hopefully is going to come on soon. Yes. So this is Prove, where you can analyze how your brand is being adopted. So it can be campaign pages, it can be templates, what kind of assets are being created, and finally, what kind of assets are being used across teams and regions or different campaigns. So this is our 5 flagship products. And that brings me over to Plus, our integration area led by Fredrik. So now we're going to go to the types of integrations we support. So I'm going to use categorization used by the MarTech tribe and the chief MarTech. So these are categories you should be familiar with. So the first one is management. So an integration we have is typically popular is single sign-on. So if you're using Google Workspace or Office plugin, I think data shows that 70–80% of our customers are using Microsoft Office, and they can use their existing login credentials. This is a very popular integration among our customers. And secondly, you have content and experience. So Optimizely or it's WordPress, you have content management systems. You can easily pick assets without leaving the platform. And then thirdly, advertising and promotion is a popular feature and use case within our customers. So we can integrate to your display ads or even print solutions, so for in-store promotion. And the next one is social and relationships. So Fredrik has created a Plus publisher or a social media integrations where you have the top social media platforms where you can create a template and then quickly publish it without leaving that platform. And the next one is commerce and sales. I think Fredrik will go into that in the Inriver integration. So that's an example for product information management where you can manage the meta asset of that product and the asset and pricing and much more than a typical DAM can. So I think it's a huge benefit when you combine the PIM and the DAM for those use cases. And finally, everything is built on our API. So if you have data in external platform, another MarTech tool, you can bring that data into our platform, or you need data from our platform to your third-party tool, we can help you that with the API. So I think that's my final slide, Becky.
It is.
So this is me handing over to Fredrik Davidsson. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Frank Tommy. So I'm Fredrik, obviously, yeah, we're having a sneak peek of a couple of our integrations, and obviously I would like to spend hours with you guys to show what we've built, but I'm going to show you 3 things that we have built and 1 thing that is upcoming. And as Frank Tommy said, 80% of our customers are using Office package, and as you know, the centralizing brand content is all about securing your brand and brand consistency and having a single source of truth. So the flagship products that Frank Tommy showed is the key for that. And but obviously, with all this content, you want to distribute it and share it and make it grow outside of your ecosystem. And that's where Plus and integration comes in. And basically, that's my business area as well. Everything outside the main products. So if we go ahead and I think I'll go directly into the demo and I'll share screen. I'd like to actually show you some real stuff. I think that's so I'm going to show you the Office integration, and I'll just wait for the screen to show up. So in this case, and you might have seen when Frank Tommy showed the demo that we have a demo company called Vertica. So I'll continue that, and as a person now within this Vertica organization, I want to create a PowerPoint slide to invite some colleagues for a sales meetup in London. So in this case, usually what would happen, or what happens in a lot of organizations, is that they do have a DAM. What they do is they go into the DAM and they download assets, and then they place it in a PowerPoint or Word. And there's basically no problem with working that way. The issue is that when I do a new invitation to a Oslo Vertica sales meet in 6 months, I would probably be tempted to say, I do have those images on my desktop, so I'll just reuse them. I then forget that we've done a rebrand, that the logo type and stuff like that is not up to date. So with the integration we have here, we actually, within the Office plugin or Office 365, we have a window into the DAM, the place backend. So let's see. So what I'll do now is I'm tempted to add some content here. So what I'll do is I'll just search for Vertica, and I'll get a couple of different images. I'll go down and say, okay, this star is something that I like to use. So I'll add that. And just see if I'll click on it. Okay, it's a bit slow, and I'll add it. So I added the icon here, and I don't know why it's rendering wrong here, but that's obviously an Office problem. That's not our problem. What I'll do is I'll add another image to show you how it can work as well. So within our backend place, we have the possibility to have a lot of different archives. So I have different archives over here as well, so I can search within different parts of the solution, and I can filter on categories and stuff like that. Very similar to how it works within the DAM system. So most users are they recognize how to work. So what I'll do is I'll obviously want a photo of this Mr. Gray as well. So I'll just see if we have one, which I obviously knew, and I'll just place him as well. So what I've done now is yeah.
I wonder if it's going a bit slow, Frederick, because you've got your camera on, that old classic. Maybe that I don't want to see your gorgeous face, but maybe you turn your camera off, it might speed things up a bit.
Okay, I hope so. So I hope this works faster now. I'm sorry about that. So now I've added Mr. Gray here, and I'll just move him over to the right, putting Mr. Gray in the corner. And now I'm, basically on brand, and with the correct image of Mr. Gray here, I've created the PowerPoint, which I can use within the organization and on brand. So you get the idea. It's powerful, and it's a good way to let your users in the wider scope of your company get access to the content that is so extremely worthful for you and for the company, but you also have spent a lot of time getting it into a system to centralize it, and this is the way to distribute it in a easy way. So Becky, if you take over the presentation again, or maybe I should, like that. I will just go. So talking about Inriver and PIM systems. So PIM systems is a product information management system. So a couple of years back, we had especially retail companies using PIM systems. They call it master data systems or whatever, and then they changed name to PIM systems. And now more and more brand owners are using the same type of workflow as the traditional retailers. And the reason for that is that today a lot of brand owners are also selling stuff directly. So they tend to put all their product information into a PIM system, and connected to what I call the holy trinity of today's SaaS world, where you have a PIM system and you have an e-commerce system and you have a DAM system, a DAM++ in our case, and I'll return to the DAM++ in a minute. So enabling the data to live within the product data to live within the PIM system, you can then pull images from the DAM system over into the PIM system, so people using the PIM system can actually see the products. And this is it might sound stupid, but a lot of PIM systems actually don't have support for that. And the other good reason is that the PIM system is often connected up to the e-commerce system. So again, we have this triangle of systems, and you send the data, the product data, up to the e-commerce system, and then either via the PIM system or directly into the e-commerce system, you pull the product images. So then you get this connected ecosystem where things works together. So next slide, please, Becky. I'm going to try to elaborate a bit more on that, because in a traditional DAM systems, you have a product image. And a product image can have a description, a title, a price, and a couple of other fields. And this is dynamic within our place, the DAM system. But a PIM system works often in levels. So you have the product, in this case, gingerbread plastic box. The gingerbread plastic box have a couple of items connected to it, and those items can be like the label, but it could also be the content within. You have the gingerbread, you have the round ones, and you have the heart-formed ones and stuff like that. So one product can contain a lot of different items. So already there you see the complexity of the building a one-to-one connection with your DAM system. But we've solved this by enabling you to map different fields at different levels from your PIM system into your DAM. And again, one of the main reasons is you get images over to your PIM system, but also you can push data back down to the DAM system. And this is good for a couple of different reasons, but the most obvious one is that if you have, for example, the gingerbread box, you have a lot of information. It says gingerbread, it says price, it says another couple of other keywords. If you don't have that data in your DAM system, people who will use the image for marketing will not be able to find it, because you actually don't have the metadata, because the metadata lives in the PIM system. So by syncing these, you enable people to find and reuse resources across those platforms. I think that's very, very powerful. So I think we can move on. It's a quick one, this one. I'm sorry, I'm having to push so hard, but yeah, we have the time limit. So external DAM integration. This is an interesting and quite powerful tool that we've been talking about for ages within the company. And somebody actually said, I think it's a good thing. They said, okay, but this Fredrik, this is like bring your own DAM to the table of Papirfly, and basically this. So we do have customers who, for different reasons, are using third-party DAMs. It could be like they've had it for ages, or it could be that another department within the company owns the DAM strategy. So, but still the marketing department needs to be able to use content. So what we can do is we sync up with the external DAM system. So for creating template-based workflows through a produce example, we could get images. So people using produce in the marketing department or whatever can actually get the images that are in the third-party DAM system. And the same goes with, for example, approval of marketing campaigns in Plan. So again, you can get the assets over, and then you can use them within our ecosystem with your own DAM system. So again, seamless flow of data. I think that's really something that I think is important going forward, and it already is. I mean, if you don't have to think about the data and how it moves, it will make your daily work much more easy.
Frederick, can I make a quick comment?
Yes.
So I think one way to visualize it is if you have another dam, you can bring your own dam, but then everything mirrors into our dam place. Yes. So you have the master at another dam, but when you have that in place in our dam, you have access immediately, and then you automatically get access to all the other functionality and capabilities of the product within the Papirfly platform.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a very well put, Frank Tommy. I'd like to mention as well now with that the external dam integration, it actually is connected to what we've done within Inriver integration as well. This external dam integration will enable us to hook on other PIM systems going forward as well, because we've made the major work of enabling transportation of data back and forth. So adding, for example, a PIM system like Acano is possible, and it's not like a 2-year project. So again, this is a powerful tool that we have built into our platform. And one of the other use cases, which was a bit of a surprise building this, is that we now can actually enable things like bulk imports. So usually, like if you're a brand owner, have a lot of products, you do product shoots. Product shoots are done maybe, you know, if you're within the clothes industry or something like that, you do it like 3 or 4 times a year. Summer, winter, you know, and you get like 1,000 or 2,000 images at once. And how do you import those? Today, in a lot of dam systems, it's quite cumbersome. You actually get somebody to import, you know, 10, 20 at a time, and then you spend 2 or 3 days importing the product image. What we can do is we can match up the import of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 images with an Excel file and do a batch import of those and map the content of that into our backend. So I think that's extremely powerful, and it will save you a lot of time if you have that type of use case. So I think that we could go on to the next slide. And I just want to, I said I'm going to show you 3 things, or I said 4 maybe, and 3 are the current ones that are on the market and we are selling. But this one is quite interesting. It's the same functionality that we see within the Office plugin. So we made a plugin for Adobe, which supports Photoshop and InDesign. And I think this is really tempting because Photoshop is all about being creative. Brand guidelines and brand compliance is not. You know, you don't want people to be too creative. But what you can do here, for example, if we say that I want to create a LinkedIn banner, I'll open a new blank Photoshop template and just say, okay, I'll want to base it on one of our logotypes. So what I'll do is within the plugin, I can search for a logotype, and you see the logotypes in the screen here. You can place the logotype in Photoshop, and then you can use the new fantastic feature of Adobe Photoshop, the generative AI. So you can say, fill the rest of this banner with something that feels like London, and the generative AI will create something in line with the logo, with colors and stuff like that, and do it quite seamlessly. I've done a lot of examples of this. So you with Adobe, you can do the creative over to having within brand security in the same application. So I think that's a very tempting thought going forward to enable this, how we work together with AI, with enabling it through the plugins that we provide. So I think that's really cool. So I've showed you a couple of plugins, the Adobe plugin and the Office plugin. So what's the upside of using our plugins instead of a generic third party? Because we do have connections to third-party plugins as well. The absolute upside is that we can actually enable product-specific things in our plugins. So think about going forward, and this is just me thinking freely. It's we store all your images within our DAM. Okay, so what we could do going forward is we could train AI to say, this is the look and feel of your company, and then going out to Photoshop, you could select 2 or 3 images and say, create something that is on brand with the feel and tone of voice of your company as a banner in Photoshop, or create a text in Office Package. Give me a text to Word that is a tone of voice for your company, because we have stored a lot of text from you guys in our database, and that will enable you to get more closely branded things based on AI. And third-party plugins can't do that because they're just the middleware. So they just transport data, but we have the actual things in behind as well. So it makes a lot of sense for us to ensure that you can transport information and data out to the people who actually use your brand on a daily basis. So with that, I'll hand over to Becky. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for going through that, Frederick. That was super interesting. We've had a couple of questions come through in the chat, so it'd be great if we can address these before we call time. So the first question is from Florent asking, can you create scripts to rename automatically the picture name in the DAM system by concatenating metadata coming from the PIM system?
That is a very specific question. So what we do when we build these Inriver, we transport the data that is in Inriver back and forth. We do not convert data, but building new conversions to new connectors to other PIM systems, this is something we could think about. But basically, we don't change data, or we don't interpret the data that is moved. When it comes to the batch importer, with the DAM integration we were talking about, we could do those filters during import. We could do that, yes.
Amazing. And a question from Katie here. Do we have any plans to integrate with any other PIM systems at all?
Yes, absolutely. We are in discussions with Akeno. As I mentioned, we have a cooperation with those through our friends in Keepik, which is a part of the Papirfly companies. So we do talk with others. And obviously, if you have a specific provider that you would like us to integrate with, I suggest that you get in touch with us, because we do a validation on case to case. Because if it's like 5 or 6 customers who want it, it makes sense from our perspective. But if it's only one, then it's hard, because somebody needs to keep it up to date and keep it up to working, and usually that cost would then be transferred over to you as a customer, and then it might not be as attractive as one thinks. So please get in touch, and we'll look into it.
And is that the same with, say, the external DAM integration as well? So if we have certain integrations already set up, if that DAM isn't listed on there, it's not a no, it's just a discussion.
Exactly.
Amazing. That was great. Well, we are at time. So thank you, Florent and Katie, for asking your questions. Everybody that's joined today, thank you for tuning in to our first Papirfly Unleashed series. As I mentioned, we do have quite a few exciting sessions coming up around Plan, around Prove, and around design systems. So watch out for some invites landing in your inbox soon. But other than that, thank you so much, and we'll call it there.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.